Hi, my name is Lisa, and my password is Kitten, and I had two people show up, and one person had to leave early, so that just leaves me today talking to you about my charity, which is Feeding America. I want to talk to you today about a problem that is very common in the United States, and that is hunger. By educating our neediest people and partnering with my charity today, Feeding America, hunger is projected to end by 2025. So today I'm going to talk to you about what hunger is, the cycle of hunger, and short and long-term solutions. First, let me tell you about the history of Feeding America. Feeding America began by a retired man who worked in soup kitchens in the early 1970s. And one day he met a woman who was picking through the trash. And she just simply said to him, "I wish there was somewhere else I could go to get this food besides picking through the trash," because she was picking very viable food out of the trash. And we all know that grocery stores and places like that throw food away that's still very good. Well, that's where the idea was born for a food bank. And the first year that Feeding America delivered food to people, over 275,000 pounds of food was delivered. And today there are over 200 food banks in America feeding 48 million food insecure people a year. You may be asking yourself, what is a food bank? A food bank is simply a collection point where government agencies, farms, and grocery stores drop off food. And then those food banks bring that food to food pantries. And a food pantry is simply like a grocery store for people that are in need. And you may also be asking yourself, what is food insecure? Food insecure simply means that person does not know where their next meal is going to come from. So now that I've talked about Feeding America and the history of Feeding America and what food insecure is, let's talk about the causes of hunger. Causes of hunger are underemployment, wages that become stagnant, and costs of living that are too high. These things can lead a person into what is called a cycle of poverty. A cycle of poverty is when the balance of their medical costs and their food budget is interrupted. And how that starts is by a person not having enough nutritious food. And because of the stress from that, not having enough food on them psychologically and physically, it leads to poor disease management. Because 1/3 of the households that are insecure have somebody who has diabetes. So we'll use diabetes as an example. And then because they're not taking care of their disease, they have increased health complications, which leads to increased medical care, which leads to increased medical care costs, which is less money from their household budget and expenses. So that is a cycle that Feeding America is trying to break and is already breaking by helping people out. So one of the ways that they help people is through education. Education at schools, senior centers, and food banks. Now that we understand the devastating effects of the cycle of disease and poverty and hunger, let me show you how something as simple as education in the community can help change and break that cycle. There was a study done in 2013, and it involved kids and seniors. It found that children participating in certain nutrition educational programs increased their daily fruit and vegetable consumption at home by 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup, and they were more likely to choose low-fat and fat-free milk. Participating seniors consumed about 1/2 cup or more of fruits and vegetables daily. Also, another way that Feeding America educates people is by implementing something called nudges in their food bank. And that simply means that they take all of their healthy food and they put it in the front of their food pantry, so when people go in, they see the healthy food first. And that's another reason that I chose to partner with Feeding America, because they're about giving people healthy food, not just a hot meal, but they're about fruits, vegetables, grains, and lean meats. So they want to help people by educating them and by giving them healthy food. So what they do is they put all that healthy food up front in the food bank so the people can see it first and help. And that's what they're most likely to pick. And another way they educate them is by giving out samples and showing them great ways to use those fruits and vegetables. And then they give them the recipes of things that they were sampled right there. So that's a very, what I call very nonchalant but smart way to educate people that are coming there and are in need, but you're showing them already how these healthy foods are going to help them break that cycle and how to use those foods more efficiently and effectively so they don't go to waste. So now that I've talked to you about the education, the importance of education, and what my charity is all about, I'm asking that you do two things. The first thing is to go to Feeding America's website and donate $1, because $1 will feed 11 people. And the second thing I'm asking you to do is to find out where a Feeding America food bank is near you. It's 6 miles from me. I found out where it is and I plan on going there and checking it out and seeing what it's all about. So you can also go there and become a community trainer and help people in that way. So I'm asking that you do those two things today in helping out myself and Feeding America.